should make it. Welcome to...
This is a test recording to see if my microphone works. I want to see if the audio from the microphone is picked up while I'm in battle. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to have to reduce the volume a bit. The gain volume. And we just happen to have Days of Doom here. Which is unusual, but we'll give it a shot. And it's on advanced level, which is annoying.
Vessels at the nearby shipyard.
I mean, this guy, he won't be able to carry the warp cores. Where am I going? Where is the shipyard? There it is.
The shipyard is west of our location. Hurry!
Yeah,
the enemy is closing
not set up
in!
to carry the warp cores, but well, we can try.
The evacuation force at the shipyard needs your help!
Got to remember how to do this. You'd think I'd do it a lot since I like most of my shots when I do they come from the turrets because I can't
Unknown
turn
vessel on
quickly
sensors.
enough.
What is that thing?
This
This
is your
Doom
Federation!
The enemy's closing in!
I probably switched the mic off knowing me.
Engineering crews,
Scotty,
to
my
your
favourite
posts.
character of all
I've got a
Star
plan.
Trek.
This is Lieutenant Commander Scott at the shipyard.
Knowledge, Scott. Where are we? Where am I? Got to pick up a warp core, haven't I? Yep, I got one. Oh, I did have one. There we go, I should have one now. Now, where's the Doomsday Machine? Uh-oh. He's firing.
Multiple enemy ships on sensors! We could use some help back here!
Okay, let's see if we can drop it in the path. But you never get enough time in this match. Drop. You dropped it. Right, where are those warp core cluster ships? There's one.
That should do it. The back hit.
Which direction is that? Stop targeting your doomsday. Make that thing untargetable. Where's that warp core ship from? Can't kill it, it should be untargetable. Let's go get another core just in case. Come on. Fly, my pretty fly. It is a pretty ship, this. I like it. I've been testing it a bit and I like it. Ah, warp core. One. Right, let's see if we can drop it in the path. Let's wait for it to fire first, so let's not go all out with speed. Go on, fire. Fire? Are you going to fire or not? Ah, now we can try and drop it. Here we go. Drop. Hopefully we dropped it right. Slow down. Now warp core, I suppose. Actually, we'll get that. Oh, he's gone. Stop targeting. Yeah, I have to clear the run. Trouble with the target. I'm surprised I don't play this episode much because it's a good one. It just seldom works out well. Right, let's wait for him to fire. We might as well put something. Target the warp core. I mean the now, can we get a fire? Before he fires. Oh, this is gonna be tight. Come on. Drop. And hit it. Ah, he got me. First time I've ever exploded in this. But at least I laid the warp core. But it got me. Did I take damage? No. Right, let's get another one. I like this match, it's just it's not really balanced well. Don't shoot. Are we getting in there? Are we going? That's the ship. Slow down. Drop the core. No, to die. Gotta get out of there. Can't wait. Alright, let's try again. Drop it. Dropped it. I got it! There it goes. That was mine just went in and it got direct hit before it even exploded. Right, let's get another. I think it said direct hit before the core actually went into the machine. So unless somebody else released one just before me, and mine didn't register as a direct hit. Alright, I've got another. Let's go. I need some speed now. Ignore them ships. We're coming on the Corvettes. No basic maneuvers, that would just... It's too difficult. It's going to shoot in a minute, so I better not. Or should I? Should I risk it? No, let's risk it. Drop it. Speed. Did I drop it? Alright? Don't think so. No, probably not. Don't target that. You're never doing this match. I love this match if you could win it, but you can't. It's so so seldom is winnable. But then it is a doomsday machine. You're not supposed to win all the time, I suppose. Well, it's not about winning all the time, it's about winning at least half the time. Power up came out of nowhere. Right, can we get there in time? Drop. Full speed. Did we get it? Did we get it? What a buster ship? Yeah, we got it. Got one, but it's not making any damage to the doomsday. Stop targeting, so you can fly over there. Stop shooting. I noticed not many others are getting warp cores. Go on guys, get your warp cores.
We can't hold out much longer. Activating all distress beacons.
I wonder if they are getting warp cores, because I can't see it. There's one, he's getting warp core at least. I suppose the other two are killing those warp buster ships, whatever they're called.
Warning. Ship
Don't shoot! Ah, they are getting them now, I think. Or they were, it's hard to keep up sometimes. Right, slow down. Come on, drop the core. Drop the core. There we go, drop it there. Now full impulse. And stick around just in case. Turn off full impulse. Stick around in case there's a warp buster ship. Did I even drop that core? I can't see it. Did it disappear? Did I drop it in the wrong place? Yeah, I did drop it. I just saw it just before the cutscene.
Dreadnought warp core is ready.
But it never went in. It was too far away.
Feed it to the doomsday machine before it makes a meal out of us. We shield it against the enemy weapons the best we can, but we don't have time to build another. Better make it count.
The super warp core. Well, I'm not after that thing. I'm going to blow up if I get that thing. I'll just defend whoever is getting it. Tell you something, this shit. I like it.
and take out that ball.
And I haven't built full on firepower. I mean, this shit needs to do way more power than I do. I just don't go 40 PS for these days. He can't switch off his auto fire either. Well, if this works, I might actually talk about the build. See if this guy needs help, because it's hard carrying that thing. Give him some aid. Give him what I can. I haven't got anything to give him. I've got to try. Come on, hazard emitters, give them them.
Warning. Ship is under attack.
Come on, I need something more to give him, he's dying. He's getting radiation radiation damage. But that didn't work. There's only so much you can give. Oh, I'm a pilot ship, I forget. There he goes. Too bad, mate. You tried your best. That was a valiant effort. Right, I'm going to give it a shot. But I know I'm going to die.
Better make something happen out there and fast!
Oh, well.
We're almost in range of that
late.
thing's
You can hear
weapon!
me. I've beamed my
Yeah, it's
crew
too
to a
late.
nearby planet.
That was a
Please,
valiant effort, though. I've seen it
them home
fail a
safely.
lot more than that.
Locking onto you now, Captain. Captain, you'll need to lower your shields to get beamed out.
The person who's carrying the warp core don't normally get that
Negative.
far.
Can't risk losing
Not
the
even
ship
close.
before the job's done.
Not
It's
unless
been
you're
an
with a
honor.
super duper team. of
Long
course.
live the Federation.
In a pub like this, you're very rarely with a super duper team.
Well, the good news is that the Doomsday Machine was
It was a
destroyed.
valiant effort that you can
The bad
appreciate.
news is we lost a good captain in the process.
Yeah,
we did the best we could. We can't all be like Captain Kirk. I suppose I should get my report back to Starfleet sooner rather than later. His family will want to know.
We lost Starbase health stayed above 0% plus 0 marks. Doomsday Machine travelled less than 100% plus 0 marks. Oh, I call that a failed mission, but then I'm not surprised it always fails on pugs, nearly always. Unless you've got a super duper team with you, there's no real point. And I never run with super duper teams, that's why I don't play this episode much, and I'd like to, because it's a good episode. I mean a good TFO, sorry. Well, leave system. This started off as an audio test. I wonder if it's going to work out as a build video. I suppose I better show my build now, eh? People have been wanting me to, I mean, in the past I've made build videos where I've just moused over the build and there's been no audio commentary. And I keep getting comments on those videos. It's no good without an audio commentary. Give us an audio commentary. Even though it's free, we still want more. So I decided, okay then, let's try and do some audio commentaries on builds. Talk through the build. Let's go over here to the sun. Ooh, who's that? Someone called Max in the U.S.S. hood just gave me hazard emitters. Maybe it's his way of tipping his hat to nice ship, mate. He's in a nice ship. Isn't that the Fakiri one? Oh no, I think maybe he's using holograms. Oh well, anyway. Build. Yep, I decided to make this ship look a bit like a hot rod. And it is the fleet version with the pilot maneuvers. I called it the U.S.S. Reality Dysfunction. Because I once read a book called that, and I can't remember anything about the book, but it sounds like a good name. Right, the build. We're at Riser System. So as you can see, I didn't go full on firepower. Do I know Max? Or does Max know me? Anyway, the build. I didn't go full firepower because I don't do that much these days anymore. There's no point. DPS is old hat. Ain't worth worrying about anymore. I put on the Terran Task Force Phaser dual heavy cannons. I wonder can I remod that because it looks like it might need it. But it's a very powerful. The Terran Task Force Phaser or the other one, the Disruptor, are the very powerful weapons, and they don't require a console to boost them, like with the quantum phase set. You can just... It's a standalone weapon, which is pretty good. It gets boosted by anything that boosts phasers, or disruptors if you're using the disruptor build. But this is a phaser build. I also put on pulse phaser cannons. I did remod these for crit D times 4 by the looks of it. I've got 2 of them and 3 of the turrets on the back. I like pulse phasers because they're gold in colour, and so is the Terran Task Force. And that makes it great to have a gold torpedo as well, the Terran Agony phaser torpedo. I put on 2 pieces of the Nukara set from the Nukara Reputation, the shield and the engines, because if you look at more details and scroll down for 2 pieces of the set, you get 5% bonus energy weapon damage. 5% is quite a lot. 1/20th extra, and when you're talking in the thousands, that's quite a lot. The colony deflector, because of its 15% critical severity and its 4% critical chance if your hull stays strong. So that comes from the Drano colony, I think it's called. And I've got the Drano colony warp core on because I don't really have anything that's brilliant, and this has a plus 66% power transfer rate. So it's as good as any core really, from considering my limited gear. Now some people will go with the colony engine here instead. But I find I can't really control that engine. It gives me the speed boosts at the wrong time, and I'd rather just not bother with it. Makes my ship too unreliable. My engine's too unreliable, inconsistent power levels. I went with the Tears of the Prophets because I haven't upgraded the experimental weapon that comes with this ship, but I've got it in my inventory somewhere. There it is. It's a Soliton Wave Impaler that comes with the ship. And it looks pretty good because it does radiation damage, and people don't tend to build their ships for radiation damage, which might make it good in PvP. And well, not many NPCs have radiation damage resistance, so that might be pretty good if it was upgraded. I could have gone all vulnerability locators or exploiters for the TAC, but I've been using them for years and I'm sick of them, quite frankly. And they limit how much other consoles you can put on and how many other clickies you get. So I went with the 2 Lobistor tactical consoles for crit severity, which is 26.2 on this. It also gives good control effects to resist tractor beams and things. I haven't got any exotic skills, so I'm not looking to control the enemy, I'm just looking to resist controls. And it gives you a lot of hit points. This is more crit severity plus a bit of crit chance, and more control resistances to tractor beams and things. And more importantly, the turn rate is good. Because I'm an engineer and I'm usually flying cruisers, they haven't got a good turn rate, so this usually is a go-to console for me. Both of these are. They're both from the Lobistor. Now this one comes from the prototype Dreadnought, and this one from the Captain Archer's NX class ship, the very first Starfleet starship. It's been a long road getting from there to here, starship. And they're both part of the same set and they go together. So if we look at more details, you can see that when they go together you get 33% for your phaser damage, which is a hell of a lot. That's 1/3 extra phaser firepower. Also works with disruptors and plasma. But on their own, this console is probably one of the best in the game because it gives you 19% more energy damage, plus it gives you a pretty good resistance as well. And this one on its own increases your projectile damage and a bit more crit chance. Now I found on this ship that the shields tend to go down a lot when I've been playing it. It's got lousy shielding. It's an okay hull because you very rarely, because you're so fast, you've got a higher, you're harder for the enemy to hit. But when they do hit you, your shields are just gone. So I went with 2 of these from the Fleet Research Lab, and I've got the damage, the Drain X ×2 on both of them to give me some extra resistance to get my shields drained and help my weapons drain enemy shields. I put this console on because I'm using cannons and turrets. You want some good accuracy with those weapons, especially on a single target build like a rapid fire build, which is what this is. So I put that on mostly for its accuracy. It's 42 plus 42 accuracy rating, so I've got some pretty good accuracy on this ship. This I think comes from the episode Ragnarok, Trillium D plating. That is good because it gives you good damage resistances, maybe not as much as neutronium, but it also gives you hull capacity and shielding, so that kind of makes up the difference for damage resistance. And Domino, because it boosts phaser power and accuracy, that's another 20 accuracy. Boosts phaser weapon damage, sorry, not power. This is becoming a go-to console for me because of its damage resistance. It's probably the best damage resistance console in the game, and it comes from the Lobby store, Bounty Hunter's friend. And this one, I can't remember where I got this, but it gives extra phaser damage and critical chance, so it's always good, and it comes with a clicky. Is that it? Yeah. And that quick click is pretty good because it lasts for 40 seconds. It creates, you hit an enemy with that and it will create an agony energy hazard for 40 seconds. That does phaser damage to the enemy, I believe, if I'm reading this right, but my eyesight isn't very good for reading small text. But let's read it. Creates a level 66 agony energy hazard for 40 seconds at the foe's current location that follows the closest foe to all foes within 3 kilometers. 503 phaser damage every half second. And minus 25 all damage resistance rating to the target, and 25% chance to disable the target. So there's a 1 in 4 chance you can disable the target, and that 503 phaser damage every half second for 40 seconds. Well, that's a lot of phaser damage. That's 80 lots of 503 phaser damage. That's like another weapon in of itself. So I'd say that's pretty damn good, and it looks good and feels good to use. And of course Temporal Negotiator in case I'm getting close to death and I need to get my engineering team for hull heals and my science team for shield heals back up quickly. And red matter because, well, that gives you more power. Now, I could have put on batteries, energy amplifiers, but I don't tend to like using consumables in my day-to-day because it gets a bit... You're always crafting consumables if you're using them up, and I just don't like doing that. I'd rather be spending my time doing something more productive than crafting. We can have a look at the stats while we're on this tab. So my shield regeneration rate is pretty good, but that's because I'm not really using auxiliary on this ship. I've got no exotics, and it doesn't need much engines because it's designed to be a racing ship, so it's pretty fast anyway. So therefore I could go with a bit of extra shielding, since the shields on this ship are pretty crap. But because it's so fast, it doesn't matter that its shields are crap, because its hull really gets too badly damaged. So what I did was I concentrated on firepower and shields, because I didn't need engines and I'm not using auxiliary much. So therefore my shield regeneration rate is pretty good. But it doesn't really make much difference on a ship that shields are pretty terrible. Its hull isn't that good from the numbers, but I found actually when you're in battle it is good because it doesn't get hit that much because you're so fast. So you don't need a good hull. The power transfer rate is pretty good because of this warp core's adding 66%, I believe. So it's pretty better than... I didn't need to put on... oh god, what's that console that you craft? It would be an engineering console. Where is it? This one. That gives you 105% power transfer rate and shielding and turn rate, and I didn't need it. It's conductive RCS with EPS. I very rarely need that these days because power transfer rate isn't so important anymore. As you can see, the shields aren't that strong and they go down really quick, and the regeneration rate doesn't really help, but as I say, the hull doesn't get hit too much because you're so fast. And I've got pretty good resistances on this thanks to the Bounty Hunter's friend and the Trillium D. As you can see, my accuracy 97, that is pretty good. When I first was building this ship, I put on a lot more accuracy and it went up to over 130 or 140 or something like that, and I thought that was too much, so I scaled it back a bit. Because anything over 100 gets converted into critical severity, and you're at 95% when you get the ship, 95% accuracy, and all you need is 5% more in order to hit the target every time, and anything more than that, which is probably 92 more, will get converted into severity, so I don't need too high a severity even though I've got pretty high. I don't know how it works exactly. I see it as accuracy determines how many shots hit the target. Critical chance determines how many out of all those shots that hit the target hit it in a sensitive area. And severity determines out of those shots that hit in a sensitive area how much additional damage they'll do. I usually think of it as like throwing darts. This will allow you to hit the board. This will allow you to hit in a double or a treble, and this will determine how high that double or treble is. Tactical stats, penetration, critical hit chance. I don't really know what half of these mean. Well, I do, but it's too much to go into right now. I did put one of these on that had Drain X and Crit X times 1 each. But my resistance was high then, and my drains wasn't so high. And I found it was better to have the drain resistance was more important than the control resistance where these two consoles are concerned. Engineering, maximum hit points, that's pretty good. Kinetic and physical damage resistance, not that you really need it on this ship because it's so damn fast. It just helps against those Romulan heavy plasma torpedoes in Korea system, because they can one-shot you if you've not got good resistance to them. And my speed and turn rate is pretty damn good because this is a fast ship anyway, and I've got pilot specialization on. So if we go into my skills, you can see it's tactical ultimate with concentration on hull. The only ones in science are long-range sensors for my weapon targeting. Yeah, I went with strategist as my secondary so I could have the diversionary tactics clicky. Not for threatening stance because I don't use that unless I'm in a tank. And for primary I went for pilot to give the speed boost. That's what I tend to do these days instead of intel like some people do. And since this is a pilot ship anyway, it works out quite well. For traits, well, we've got the cannon damage, torpedo damage and more torpedo damage. We got some crit there that reduces threat as well. More crits, although that doesn't really make much of a difference because it's so small, but it's percentage, not points, so that's good. An Adion inversion because I'm an engineer, and that's very useful because it goes with my engineering ability, which gives you more power, more weapon damage, and you're not going to get your subsystems knocked offline by the enemy, although you still do from time to time on this build. It just helps. More accuracy for my cannons. Elusive helps a lot because this ship is fast and it doesn't get hit so much, and elusive makes it even harder to hit. And this is for my Grace Under Fire is for resetting the cooldown of miraculous repairs, which is the main go-to engineering ability for healing. Miraculous repairs is a very powerful heal, and it gives you a secondary shield as well. And this helps you to use it, be able to use that clicky more often. For starship traits, I went with go for the kill, which comes from the Jem'Hadar strike ship. You'll be lucky to get that because it's an R&D ship, but it helps rapid fire. Emergency weapon cycle, that speeds up your firing rate, and it comes from the Arbiter battlecruiser from the Sea Store. The Zen Store, why do they still call it the Sea Store? Cold-Hearted, I think that's from the Breen Raider. Plestral, is it, or something like that? It was a free giveaway winter ship. Not a bad ship if you know how to build it right. Supercharged weapons, I think that comes from one of the Odyssey ships, or Scimitar, or from the command bundle of ships, if I remember rightly. I'm not exactly certain. Memory's a hard thing when you've got so much gear after 8 years. But that boosts your crits and your damage. Every time you fire a torpedo, you get a weapon an energy weapon boost. And harrying manoeuvres, I believe this comes from the free ship, the Bajoran ship, if memory serves, but I can't be certain. And I put it on for the accuracy and the penetrations. And it was an odd choice for me putting that on, because there were other options that I could have gone with, but this one just seemed like the right fit for a ship with cannon rapid fire that goes fast. Reputation traits, armor penetration, crit severity, crit chance, more penetration, and a bit of extra damage. For my active reputation, that's the healer bubble, which doesn't really work for this ship because I like to fly around fast in this little ship, and you have to be pretty still using that. But I suppose you can fly circles and go through it every now and then as you're flying in circles around an enemy. It's a good heal. This is useful because you can cloak yourself temporarily, and when you come out of cloak it will boost your exotics. And if you don't have any exotic skill in your skill tree, it can be very useful to boost something like gravity well or something. Not that I'm using that on this ship. But it's always good to keep that there in case I change ships. I found on this ship this is very useful. Refracting Tetrion Cascade, because you're flying around so fast in the midst of blowing up enemies, and you just hit this as you get right in the middle of them, and it'll blow them up even more. This thing, I haven't had much chance to use it, but I do on this ship, but I do from time to time. I don't really need it. It feels like it's too much. It's overkill. But I'm sure it would come in handy if I was in a bad situation and needed to get an enemy down fast. It would probably help in peril over Pavel against the big command boss ships. But you can only use it once before the battle's over. And that's a good decoy to put out, so the enemy shoot at that instead of at you. Let's go on to my bridge officers. Well, we'll start with the tactical. He's a Romulan operative, superior Romulan operative, so he has the space trait. Let's click on him and check that trait. Superior Romulan operative gives you crit chance, crit severity, and, well, this one's useless unless you're using a cloaking device. But crit chance and crit severity, always good to have. And I only needed one of them on this ship, because I could have gone with another tactical officer here. I've got two on this ship. I could have gone with a third one, but I didn't need it, and I wanted more sciencey abilities as well. Because I always go with science team and hazard emitters, so I needed a second science officer for hazard emitters. A second science bridge officer, yeah. Generally I like to go with science team, engineering team and tactical team. Science team for the shield heal, engineering for the hull heal, and tactical for directing my best shields between me and the enemy. So I tend to like to go with those three teams, and I like to put them down here so they're easily accessible. And hazard emitters is another one for hull heals, for a bit of extra hull, because when your shields are down and your hull's going down, you need to get it back up, and engineering team sometimes isn't enough. To help with my shields, I've got reverse shield polarity, although I haven't clicked it as much as I normally do on this ship. On this ship, it doesn't require me to click it as much. And the reason I've gone with reverse shield polarity instead of emergency power to shields is because emergency power to shields will only work when I'm not using this. Emergency power to weapons, and I'm always using emergency power to weapons. Because they share a cooldown. So I went with reverse shield polarity instead. That way it doesn't interfere with the amount of clicks I can do on this. And what reverse shield polarity does, it doesn't recharge your shields. What it does is it makes the enemy weapons recharge your shields. Because you've reversed the polarity of the shields, which aligns it with energy weapons that are hitting the shield and turns them into energy chargers. Force the enemy to charge your shields. What next? Attack pattern beta. That's obvious. That, if I remember rightly, that will destroy the enemy's resistances. And then torpedo spread free, because why not? And rapid fire free, because why not? It's a single target build with its energy weapons, but torpedo spread makes it hit the other enemies as well. So I can concentrate on one enemy and distract the other enemies with torpedoes while I'm rapiding down one enemy. The enemies near to it are either distracted by the torpedo spread, or they decide I'm the big threat. Well, mostly though, torpedo spread. Instead of high yield, I've gone torpedo spread because it just looks better than high yield. Although I could go high yield on this ship if I wanted to make it a full single target build. Polarized hold in case I get caught in tractor beams. That's mostly for if I was to fight the Borg, because they like to use tractor beams. And structural analysis to destroy enemy resistances, just like beta. Chemosite laced weaponry, because why not? It's always good to have for radiation damage, because a lot of things can't resist radiation damage. And attack pattern lambda, because it's a pilot ship. I'm a pilot. It's a pilot ship. I've got pilot specialization, and the ship's trait, which I'm not using. Let's find it. Let's remember what it is. I've got to remember what it is now. It's here somewhere. It's not nano infestation, is it? No. That's the point. I've forgotten what trait it is. Could it be this? Ah, there it is. Rhythmic rumble. When activating auxiliary to dampers, which I'm not using because I've got very little engineering space on this, on my bridge officers, or any pilot bridge officer ability for 20 seconds, you get damage resistance and weapon power cost reduction, and it scales with your speed. So if you're at full impulse all the time and hitting evasive maneuvers a lot, this will scale up every time I hit attack pattern lambda. And that's why attack pattern lambda is on this ship, in case I was using that trait, which I'm not. But I was. But I've replaced it with, in fact, with accuracy from my cannon turret build. I was using this trait because I was using beam banks, so I didn't need the accuracy that cannons require. And I could go back to, I could switch out, even though I've got cannons now. but I'm quite happy with what I've got right now. I'm not maxing out for DPS or anything, so... And this ship is proving to be really good, quite frankly. It dies from time to time, like it just did in that battle, but it's still really good. And for duty officers, on the ground I've got Neil Falconer. Hang on a minute, is that right? Yeah, when I'm fighting the Borg in space, this ground officer will also work. He works on ground and space, even though he's just a ground officer, because let me just read it, remind myself what it is. Yeah, when in combat against Borg, both space and ground maps. So he's a ground officer, but he works on the space map. So he's worth having. And for my active space officers, 2 damage control engineers to reduce the cooldowns for emergency powder weapons and such. Projectile cooldown, so I can fire my torpedoes more often, and projectile critical chance, so they hit crits more often, and energy weapon crit and severity. Severity and crit. Just have a look. You can pause the video on these if you're interested in reading them. Projectile crit chance, energy weapon crit chance, energy weapon crit severity, torpedo recharge time, and emergency power to weapons recharge time for both of these. And I haven't got any endeavour points filled in. I've saved them all up. I'm not putting them in to have a little bit of power creep once in a while. Every time I get a perk point, I could put it into one of these perk things, but that means all my characters on my account will creep up in power each time I put one in, like the hour hand of a clock slowly creeping in power. No thank you. I'd rather save them all up and then have a day of fire one day when I suddenly jump up in power when I spend them all. So that's why I haven't put any in. I'm saving them until I can, in order to bypass power creep and just jump up in power one day. Okay, let's do another random TFO. Let's hope it's a space one. And see what we get. Well, it's already popped, so I wonder why they have white boxes around them these days. I've just ruined the cooldowns on them, but it's annoying having those white boxes when you don't know what they do, why they're there. Come on, please, space. Ooh! Damn, I haven't got my combat meter on. I'll have to ask in chat to see if somebody's gonna paste it at the end. I'm not gonna go full out, I don't want to die. Never expected to do an ISA. Well, I kicked out the window by accident. Lost control of my mouse briefly. There's a pilot maneuver there. Ooh. Get those Spanish ships out of the way! Right, the big target. Right. Miraculous repairs. Come on, basic maneuvers. I'm not doing too well. The ship's performing well, it's just my piloting is performing piss poor. Now it's torpedo spread. That's why I put torpedo spread on. Oh, we got the optionals, thank God. DPRM has gone on. Come on, pilot maneuvers, you can't DPS when you're not moving. Nervously shaking. About that, got back into it sometime. And I better type in. Just to see if anyone's done the DPS. Because I didn't. Looks like someone did. I bet it's around 30-40k. Oh, he's done it at on a website. What? On a website? Didn't use the actual combat meter. I'm gonna still click it because I won't be able to show it on screen. I'm gonna have to click out of the game for a moment. Let me just warp out of the system. And then I'll open up Google and see what it says. I just hope I don't get a virus from that. STOnexus.com. I think I know of one that's online somewhere. Let me just bring up my Google. Paste the address in, go to the address. Ah, there it is. I'll bring it onto screen. Hang on a moment. Let me just find my bearings. There it is. That's the guy that did it. 167 he got. Wow, that's pretty damn good. And I got 66. What are we looking at? I haven't read this one before. Outgoing damage, incoming damage, healing, one outgoing shots, incoming shots. Well, 66k. I think some of that might be due to having good team members. Especially that guy. And the other guys did pretty good as well. I mean, that was a full-on good team. So 66k would probably be a bit high for this ship. Compared to... for this build, I mean. Yeah, for my build, 66k would be on the high side for an average ISA. I mean, normally it would probably do a lot less than that. It only performed that well because of the team that I was with. I'd class that as a team DPS rather than a personal DPS. If I want to be at all honest. God, I love the look of this ship. They did a really great job. I mean, I remember watching the stream of the guy who created this ship, the S.T.O official stream, and he looked half asleep on the stream. But it was the end of their working day. And he talked about it, and I didn't realise just how good it was until I got it. It's beautiful. I mean, let's do another random, see what happens. Let's hope it's a space one, and this time we know it won't be ISA. An unprepared ISA run. Just... oops. I just like to have my local chat on zone. Where are we going now? Ground or space? Starbase 1, yeah! I can shine in this one. I've been grinding this one for the last few months.
Listen up. The war has not been...
I've been grinding this map for the last few months, so I'm pretty familiar with it. And this ship does pretty well in this. Well, I've only had a chance to use this particular ship during my grind a couple of times in this map. And it's done okay.
Here they come.
I won't target the one off, not the one in the centre, but the one off to the side, as it always does. It never targets the one directly ahead. Don't target threatening enemies first, unless they're right in front of me, then you don't take them. I bet a lot of you guys watching, who will watch this will be running through this, and I'm dying. Chatting, not watching my health. Targeting the wrong flag things. That again. I think I got a bit overconfident by saying that I'm pretty familiar with this. I can shine in it. I noticed in this map there is a weapon bug. The weapons fly off to the edge of the screen, even though you're targeting something straight in front of you. They do come back and hit that target, but it's just an animation glitch, I think. Helps. This isn't a difficult map though. And I died because I wasn't paying attention. And look at my speed. Why did that go down? I must have hit the wrong button. I was going too slow. That's why I died. I was letting them hit me. I wasn't evading properly. And I took damage. I didn't notice that I reduced my speed for some reason. Why the hell would I do that? I must have hit the wrong buttons because I'm too busy chatting.
There's a break in incoming warp signatures.
So, he died again. Both. He didn't die in ISA though. Yeah. But that was a good team. Let's have a look.
Reading some heavier ships incoming.
We'll stay out
Raiders
here.
and bounty cruisers.
I'm hitting the wrong buttons again. I'm having to tab the target to get the ship to shoot the thing that's in front of it. So you can have the auto target. See, it eats through these things like butter. Get one from this a bit. Better get over there now. Come on, target the big one first, not the little one. Idiot. Targeting in this game isn't very good. I like a good turret kill. My bad piloting aside, you can see that this is a very good ship. Worth the Risian grind. Get it. Why am I not using pilot maneuvers? Very I've got to protect those ships. This bounty is easiest when somebody comes in with a powerful gravity.
Bring on top of grouping again. Get into position to prepare for the next assault.
Now, you should never kill the last ship on that previous spawn. You should wait until he's finished his run.
Here come the
before
Klingon
killing
battleships.
it,
Keep fighting.
it's too much fun. You get caught up in the field. That would have been a good place to do the pilot maneuver, but I forget. See the weapons? That was the animation part. It's not an important bloke to live with it because it doesn't affect the actual killing and completion. It's the book. That's all it does. I hate the way Tetrion cascade. It will fire when you click it, even if you haven't got a target. It just eats through ships. Over there because we're just mopping up now. And we've got a big L Enterprise in there. That Enterprise, that big ship, it's a brilliant ship. I mean, you wouldn't expect it to be so good. You'd think it would be big, clumsy and lumbering, but it's not. I mean, I've got one myself, and it always performs really well for its size.
That'll hold them off.
Well done, team. Now, I like this match, even though I'm a bit burned out on it. Whoa, whoa, rubber band. Can you say whiplash? It's probably because I'm recording. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I know what I'm saying about this ship doesn't really make a lot of sense, and I'm saying mistaken things, so... But... I just love this ship. It's one of those ones, the moment you get it, you love it, and then you get the fleet version, it's even better. Alright, we'll do one... we'll do a few system patrols. I think we've done a few TFOs. We've done. What did we do? We did the Borg one, the Days of Doom, and Starbase one. So that's 3 TFOs. That's enough to review a ship. So let's do a few system patrols. Make it a bit easier on myself. So we'll depart Riser. And let's head to Japori. Make sure we're set to advanced. Yep, we are. Because on normal difficulty, an epic build like this just tends to cut through everything, and it's fun, it's enjoyable, but it's no challenge. And I often play on normal because why make it difficult for myself, but I don't really like doing that in team matches. Because I don't want to dominate a normal difficulty match. Like stealing everyone's kills or anything like that. Because I hate it myself when my kills get stolen. I'm not one to show off, I'm one to just play normal. Right, mean, I'll leave the showing off for the youngsters. I suppose that's why I don't do so much DPS chasing these days. I just build my ship using my old DPS gear that I upgraded, but I don't build it for that. Nice slow journey so I can have a sip of coffee. I just hope my audio on this has been working, but checking the levels, I think my voice might have been drowning it out on a lot of it. But we'll see. Might have to re-record. I haven't taken this into a hive yet. And I don't think this ship would be suitable for a hive onslaught. Okay, here we are in Japori. Any enterprise? No? Good. Okay. Norsicans, play Dom Jot. Norsican, play Dom Jot. You talk, but you know play Dom Jot. Die! Die, 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 die. Turrets! Come on, turrets, don't let me down. Your turn. So this is picking up loot. I forget to take the figures. There, that texture on is useful. With a loot, no, use it twice. I like a good close-up. A lot of players zoom out from their ship so they can see the entire battlefield. Me, I like to stay really close. Oh, go for them ones. Gotta get the stingers first because they'll push you out of combat. System controls are so much easier than TFOs. In fact, I was thinking of stepping this car up to an elite system control, but I'm not going to do that one. Camera. I'm not picking up loot anymore because it's too distracting. Okay, come on, come on. Pilot maneuver. That'll get us there. Oh, oh, oh. Let the stingers. Nice! That got him. That really got him. That got him to hell. This is where I have my most fun. The system controls. I don't have to worry about what a team thinks of my lousy pilots and stuff. Good night, Norsicans. I'd call that a pot black. Right, time to pick up the loot. Can't... Not now. I've got loot to pick up. Never leave your loot behind. Always so valuable. Even if it's basic loot, you can still salvage it or sell it. Sell it to the replicator. You'll be surprised how much you get. See that turn rate? It can run circles around most enemies. Anyway, let's do another... I'll do another 2 patrols, I think. I think I'll do a Creo and then a Beta Forador, and we'll wrap the video up there. actually, instead of Korea, we'll do Beta Forador and then we'll go on to the Delta Quadrant and do Argala. Yeah, that's a good idea. I have a theory about the Klingons in Beta Forador. I think that if you attack them from their rear flank from behind, they seem a lot weaker. It's like they don't have much shield. The birds of prey, at least, don't have many shield. Don't have much shielding on the rear arc. So flank damage plus rear arc lack of shields seems to put them down pretty quick. The trouble is, it's difficult to get to their rear arc when you're not a great pilot. See the way it goes all shiny and silvery in the black of sector space? Unless you're actually passing a star. Ooh, it's gone pink at the Klingon system. Hey, the Klingons enjoy pink, do they? So they set up their home here. Yep, I bet they love it. All dressed in their pink knickers. Oh no, they're angry at me now. They're going to shoot me because of that comment, so time to defend. Time to blow them up before they kill me. Hey, let's get that big one. Give him a nice surprise with a cloak. Hey, who told you I couldn't target? The agony. You guys are next. The rest. Yeah, we've got the agony queued up. Your turn. 5 fighters. Goodbye to Joe fighters. Good night. Today is a good day for you to die. My turrets could have got him. Hey! Don't spare your fighters, you idiot! I want to kill you! I love box spaces, a lot of people. There are better options, but they just look good. Sound good. Feel good. Yep, milk. Milking through controls. Like butter. Not now. Not while there's loot. Not while there's loot to be had. Treasure! Okay, now we can depart. Forget Korea system, let's go all the way to Argala system in the Delta Quadrant. Which means transwarp. Okay, here we are. That map looks pretty lonesome compared to all the other maps, but it's Voyager's route home. The map needs to have a little corner sector added to it. here and there. I wish they'd bring out more system patrols against varied enemies. They used to have one where you could fly around a planet and engage 4 groups of enemies as you approach them. And they used to have loads of them. It was Cardassians, everything. But they removed them all because they weren't as that popular. But I used to love doing them. You could start at the top of the map and work your way through all the systems all the way to the bottom, and it would take you all day. And you would never know what enemy you fight. You'd even get ground ones. I miss them. Okay, Benthams. You pigs wanna deputise me? Or fool you? Oh, it's a erosion behind me. I thought it was yesterday in the non-living version. Okay, Bentham pigs. Recruit me, and I'll show you how it's done. You couldn't even handle them two. Where are they? There they are. Hunter escort. No, they hit me with something. I don't know what it was. Better hit cleansing just in case. Why do I spam my keyboard so much? I don't really need to. I don't need to hit that spacebar as often as I do. It creates lag. So I'm sending too many commands to the game at once. Well, worse than these things, they do that, so you've got a science team to get them out of my hand. I knew I put polarized coal on for a reason. Yeah, but they try to confuse your senses by going invisible to them, like a stealth thing they've got. Strangle senses, and jam senses they've got. The science team actually clears it away. Agony Field, DPRN, Science Team, back. Can't polarize coal, but that instead, that's really hit hard. Like, silly abilities. I wouldn't be surprised if this ship got nerfed at some point. It seems a bit too powerful. Or actually, it's not too powerful, it's not underpowered enough. It's the right amount of power, but that's the sort of thing that gets nerfed because it's the right amount of power instead of underpowered. Okay, that's a handy bit of healing time. Not our useful. Science team bringing back to life. Ooh, I hit myself there. I got polarized home there for the tractor beams. That's the boss down. Now the boss is lackeys. Haven't got polarized hole now. Yeah. That's it. We got him. Lots of loot. Loads of loot. Okay, okay, okay. Not now. That's one thing about this system though, it's not stingy with the loot. There you go, Benthans. Have that as a gift. You stinking pigs. I may joke and joke, I've got nothing against the police in real life. Well, I have, but nothing as bad as I joke about. Besides, I'm a Starfleet officer. I'm a policeman from a bigger police organisation than you guys. Look at that ship, isn't it great? I like the way you can see its name right there. I just wish it was as big as the numbers and went all the way along. Do you know what? This ship should have sponsorship on the side, like Coca-Cola or something, or Nokia phones. That would make it very fitting. Unwanted but fitting. Wow. That lagged it up a bit. Okay, back to Riser. Damn! Cool down. Anyway, I'm going to do one more TFO, I think. Another random. Just to see. Let's hope it's a space one. If it's a ground one, then I'll end the video, but if it's a space one, then we'll squeeze that one in. Hope it's not Hive. Right. Hopefully I'll have my cooldown and be able to go back to Riser afterwards. There is another patrol I like to do when I'm in the Delta Quadrant. I like them all, but there's one I particularly enjoy. It's up there, and you never know, we might be able to squeeze it in at the end after this TFO. I suppose next year we should change the name from TFO to Friend Mates Fight. FMF. So we've had STF, we've got TFO, next we'll have MFF. FMF. Oh, Peril over Pavel. I did this yesterday and it surprised me the way this ship was able to survive a lot of it. I think I did it on the non-fleet version. With dual beam banks. Happy face! Let's see if this performs as well as it did yesterday. Ooh! That was like a knee in the knackers. But if that hurt,
Enemy
then
ships
this
approaching
won't.
on an attack vector.
Oh, alright then. Alright then. Thanks for that. Okay. That's what advanced is for. Advanced is where you can get away with that stuff. Normal difficulty? Nah, it's not fair. But advanced, yeah. Nice kill, mate. Don't know what you did, but it was a nice kill. Alright, engineering activating satellites. Do people like it when an engineer activates satellites? I don't know. They never let me get all 4 on my zone. But today might be the exception. Come on, let me have this one. Don't get it for me. Yay, I got all 4. Usually another player comes sweeping in and gets the last one before I can. Why do they all go over there? Don't they like me? Do I smell? Help! It's supposed to be advanced teaming. We're supposed to help each other.
Picking up multiple enemy signals on sensors. Get ready.
I was ready when I entered the system. Hey, look, it's an Astra satellite. It won't survive. Oh! I thought engineers made shields into the places. That tells us that. Family thing, I didn't see what they're doing that. It's miracle twice. Are you trying to kill me? Did I get the other thing out? Oh, I'm gonna have to concentrate there. Wow, why is he dying? Why am I not using my pallet when they're right there? Recording and talking at the same time. Oh, there's more. I thought we were done. They've improved vision and camera so you can actually see what you're doing while it's going on. Look at that, where I changed my brightness settings. Whatever someone's got here, they really are consuming. Yeah, put out the cheap. And he put that tracking out at just the right time to hurt me. God, I love a torpedo spread. Really pissing me off, guys. Dreadnought, whatever it is, battle cruisers. Seem to have more hit points all of a sudden. I suppose the match scales quite a bit when you're doing randoms. Another load? Why? Wow. I love it when you do that with torpedoes in this, they sail off to the edge of the map. Is he repairing?
Satellite upgrades are now available.
Is he repaired? Ooh, this is a confusing pace. I think I've done enough play for a moment. I'm starting to mentally lag a bit. Doing that one. At least I've got some help at the moment. I thought I was going to have to do this on my own. There we go. I'll let the... Oh, I'm in a fast ship. I normally let the fast ships do the ones that remain, but I forget that I'm in a fast ship right now. Whoops. That's me spamming the spacebar. Yeah, I'm usually in a cruiser, so... and an engineer in a cruiser is slow.
Heads up, the enemy flagships are coming to attack.
Heads up, the reverse bad guys are coming... The reverse good guys, sorry. Right, let's hit that. Hit that, and then smack down. Whoa, cooked would be an appropriate word. I can reduce threat though, I haven't done that one. Diversionary tactics, good way to shred threat. This is a real test. Do these satellites. It's like getting yourself caught in a folial web. Generate gamma. boosting my tanks.
Generator output 25%.
That was a surprise attack. Saving that agony kill for him. Alright then. Didn't need it. Wow, we survived.
Well done. We'll continue to ready our defenses here. If they come back, we'll be ready for them. Keeping Pavo safe is
Okay,
important.
you'll be ready for him. And next time you want help, call someone else. Ooh, some nice rewards there. And everybody's gone, so it's mine, it's all mine. So I think that was a nice way to end this video. Although there was a super player in there. I don't know which one it was. I think it might be the one in the Juggernaut. The Vardwar thing. But I don't know for sure. Now that would be a nice place to end the video. But I want to do another patrol because there's one in the Delta Quadrant that I enjoyed doing that I don't see too many people doing. And it's where you fight the robots. What are they called? There's a T5 ship that you could play with from them. The automated personnel units. They're the ones. I don't see many people playing this because it's not to everyone's taste, but I enjoy it. And I just tend to F-click my way through it as well. Taking its time to load. But this will be the last thing I do. Then we'll go back to Riser. I'll just put the build up for you to see it one more time. I won't talk through it again. But I think this is a better way to review ships than just a quick eye saying a mouse over a build. I just hope I've got my microphone levels correct. Yeah, a bit further forward. Gotta F-click your way through the first part. And also your ship looks great in here. Any ship. And I like a good looking ship. That's why I like this one. It's both really powerful and good looking. Right. We've saved the crew of that freighter, we found the freighter and then saved the crew, and now here they come. Automated personnel unit. What is it? Chronodynamic power modules. Now you just click through them all. And then the next lot come, the enemy. 2 enemies. Have we stumbled into some kind of robotic war? Now, we'll give these modules back, destroy the cores, neither side has them. So now we've made enemies of them all. That's what I wanted. instead of just making enemies on one side by putting doors to the other side, why not just make enemies on the wall? Overkill! Means I can't overkill him. Miraculous repairs. The engineer said. Not now. Not while I've got loot. Learn, game, learn. Don't try and trick people to leave the system before they've picked up their loot. So, there we go. That was Sakari system, I believe you pronounce it like that. Beautiful map, because it allows you to actually see the colours on your ship. Because some maps, they change the colour of your ship and you're thinking, why the hell did I bother visiting the tailor? Lovely ship. I like a good hot rod. I've always decorated my ships from the ship customization, because if you don't put a good look on the ship, then it's not Star Trek. Star Trek is about beautiful ships, and I like to make mine a little odd. Right, I can go back to Risian now. I just wanted to show off that patrol, because I don't see many people doing that one. And it's a good one. It's a good challenge. It's just because you have to click your way through the first part. Mine looks better than that one. Oh, Discovery up there. Or is it the Glen? Or is it the Mirror? Arbiter? And some Klingon bird of prey or raptor or something. And an Odyssey. Nope, that's a Sovereign. Yeah, I love seeing what other players have done with their ship, especially if they've made an effort to decorate it and stuff and make it personal to themselves. So, whoa, good God, look at all that loot. So that's what we went with. We went with dual heavy cannon turrets with Agony Torp. 2 pieces of a Nukara, 2 pieces of Colony, although they don't go together as a set. They're standalone items, these Colony ones. Strictly speaking, of course. Tears of the Prophets, because I didn't upgrade the one that came with the ship. And I didn't bother using vulnerability locators, even though you'll probably get more firepower if you did. And you saw this ship die a few times, and that's not usual of its performance. It usually surprises you by not dying. It was just me being a bad pilot that allowed it to die. Just give a quick look at that so anyone who wants to copy can remember, can pause and remember. As for the console that came with the ship, where did I put that? It's not on there, is it? No. I can't even remember what it's called. I mean, that is the experimental weapon. Maybe if I click, it might be in my inventory somewhere. If I can even remember, is that it? Enhanced subspace wake generator? I'm not sure, I think that might be it. Yeah, Risian Corvettes. And it's a part of a two-piece set, and I have... So it goes with the experimental weapon. Hang on. So this console, enhanced subspace wake generator, gives you more flight speed and helps your engine power levels, and the rear facing, it puts out a wake from the rear of your ship that causes physical damage, and it pairs with its soliton wave. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does, but the soliton wave doesn't say that it pairs with it. Soliton wave impaler. Ah, it goes with a soliton wave generator, not an impaler, so it doesn't go with the experimental weapon. So I don't have a soliton wave generator. No, hang on a minute. I'm getting confused here. I've got enhanced subspace wake generator, but I don't have soliton wave generator. Or at least I don't see it. It might not have come out yet. Or it might be I have a feeling it might be a tactical console. So that's the console that came with the ship. God, I'm a sloppy player. If I don't know these things. Do you know what? I don't think it's come out yet, what this console pairs with. Which means... I do know Arena of Sumpec is coming up. Maybe Arena of Sumpec will give you its pair. Well, that's just a pure guess, I'm not sure. Would it be an engineering console? Oops, wrong button. Or did it come on one of the new temporal ships, are they? But they would have had their own set, surely. Do you know what the easiest way to do this is? To Google it. So let's Google it. Let me just bring up my Google. I'll do it off screen. Just give me a moment and I'll see if I can find it on the wiki. Now, what set is it? It's called Exotic Particle Generator Set. That's an unusual name. Exotic Particle Generator Space Set consists of two consoles, Subspace Wake Generator and Soliton Wave Generator. These consoles are only equipable on the following vessels: Risian Corvette and Risian Luxury Cruiser. They can be put into any console slot. The Subspace Wake Generator is obtained from the Risian Corvette. Ah! It's already come out. The Risian Corvette 2013. Oh, that's the Tier 5. Soliton Wave Generator is obtained from the Risian Luxury Cruiser. I can't figure that out. One comes from the Corvette, so we might have to wait a while for its pair. So to get the other half of this console set, we might have to wait for a bit. Yeah, so Soliton Wave Generator is not that. So maybe next year we'll get another Risian ship. We'll get, instead of a Corvette, we'll get a cruiser or something. Anyway, rather than keep this confusion going, I'm going to end the video here. So today's date is the 30th of July 2019, and this is Alt Lexington saying I hope I didn't bore you to death with this sloppy first attempt at doing a ship review with voice and no longer doing too many ISAs. And I'd just like to say thanks for watching. If you liked it, comment please if you want me to do more videos like this. And subscribe and enjoy your Risian Corvette. You're gonna love it. Bye. Ta-ta. See ya.